We hear representation matters a lot, but sometimes I think we could use a reminder about why. I love speaking to young black students. When I stand in front of the class, we immediately have rapport. They remind me of myself, and I remind them that they can be anything they put their minds to. But far too often I hear back, I can't. Sometimes they see barriers, not feeling smart enough, where they grew up, what they look like, or who they're related to. I've heard this feedback so often from children in cities where I've lived and worked. It's difficult to hear, but it also inspires me to share my story. Like a lot of these kids, I'm from humble beginnings. My family is from Arkansas, a state where, funny enough, some of the kids don't believe black people even live. Now, they're looking at this black woman who they've seen on their local TV news, and I can tell they're intrigued, but they see themselves in me, and I love that. And I know I haven't completely won them over yet, especially the middle and high schoolers, but I like challenges, so I go deeper. I tell them how I grew up in a single-parent household, how my father had a stroke when I was young and was severely disabled. I tell them my mom worked as a security guard overnight and a school aide at my elementary school during the day. She had no other choice because we were poor, and she wanted to be involved in our education and earn money. I can usually tell at this point I've gained some attention in the classroom, but I like to ensure that I make an impact. So I tell them about my days as a student. I think as adults, we forget the pressures of growing up, especially if you're a kid who doesn't have much. I ask kids what they wear on the first day of school. Some students, they get excited and they talk about outfits they've planned. Others are quiet. I tell them on my first day of the 7th grade, I wore a Dare t-shirt. Remember those? I also wore some hand-me-down Dickie shorts that were just too big. That usually gets a big laugh, but they also know that I was that girl. Being that girl means I would probably struggle finding new friends to sit with at lunch. So how does that girl from school grow to be the woman on TV? That's the question I believe they're asking at this point. So I tell them I was and still am a huge Whitney Houston fan. They usually know who Whitney is, they know how her life ended, but they rarely know the glorious start she had. Rest in peace, Whitney. Now, Whitney was like Beyonce to little girls, but eventually she served as a cautionary tale for me because people in my own family have struggled with drug use too. Now that the kids are listening, I bring it home. I tell them about my brother who is incarcerated. By now the kids understand my point. Yes, there may be roadblocks, but if you work hard and make good choices, you can manage your way around them to be anything you want to be. I decided early on, and my mom reinforced going to college and getting an education. She said that so much so that I was the first person in my family to go to college. All because my mom told me I can. I don't mind being honest about my life story. My willingness to be vulnerable with students, I hope, leads to emboldening them to live the lives of their wildest dreams. Now, I may not reach all of them, but if I can say or do something that helps one of them reach for the stars, I want to do that. That is the importance of representation. That's why it matters. Pamela Smith was a weekend news anchor when I was growing up in Little Rock, Arkansas. She was the only black woman I remember on local TV at that time, and then there was Oprah Winfrey. Simply seeing both of these women in these roles let me know that I might have a shot at doing the same. Like Beyonce said, if my country ass can do it, they can do it, because representation matters.